Hello and welcome to Kogi in Focus, a program that keeps you abreast of happenings in and around the Nigeria's confluent state. I'm Khadijat Mohammed. In today's edition, Kogi Governor Bello promised to hand over government officials to law enforcement agents if found corrupted. Kogi State government charges traditional rulers on security. A good man Justice Tom YAKUBU goes home. This and many more when we return. Don't go away.
It's Kogi, Nigeria's confluent state, the country's melting point where anything and everything can happen. Kogi in Focus is the program keeping Nigerians abreast of developments in and around the country's most strategically located state. From politics, government to the people, farming to entertainment, sport and a whole lot more. We've got it covered on Kogi in Focus. Watch Kogi in Focus every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on your channel of choice, Africa Independent Television, AIT. For your contributions, feedback and advert placements, please contact us through the displayed phone numbers and social media handles. Kogi in Focus, reaching everywhere, informing everyone. Don't be left out.
Welcome back. The Kogi State Governor has confirmed the suspension of Chief Medical Director of Specialist Hospital, Ahmed Atta, and heads of 3 tertiary institutions, the Vice Chancellor of Kogi State University, Ankpa, the Rector of Kogi State Polytechnic, Lokoja, and Chief Medical Director of the Kogi State University Teaching Hospital for non-compliance with its directives on the use of the State Treasury single account. The Commissioner for Information and Communication Strategy, Kingsley Fanwo, who made this known to newsmen in Lokoja, said, the state government is more than ever before determined to block financial leakages.
We need all the revenue we can rake now to be able to justify the mandate of the governor for second term, to be able to deliver on his campaign promises. And now that we are even working hard to ensure we pay the 30,000 minimum wage, we need all the revenue we can gather. And that is why they have been punished for contravening that policy. And also the governor is desirous of sending out a very strong signal to the people that it is not going to be business as usual. They have to be transparent. They have to comply with all the anti-corruption measures that we have put in place. And the report we are getting is that to a very large extent, most of the MDAs are already complying.
On security matters, Fanwo called on commuters and motorists to go about their businesses as the security situation on the state's major highways has been brought under control.
It is not an iron cast that we will not have security challenges. There will definitely be security challenges. But what we have built in the state is a system that can conveniently and comfortably deal with these challenges when they raise their ugly heads. And that is exactly what we are doing. We have mobilized Operation Total Freedom to increase patrol along the flashpoints, Obajano Road, along Koto, Jegu Road, the borders of Kogi State, along those places, so that comfortably they will be able to deal with those security challenges. And the report we are getting from our security office, from the office of the State Security Advisor, and all our security agencies is that, to a large extent, they have been able to deal with the situation.
He said the state government will not relent in its efforts at making life unbearable for criminals. Still on the suspension of some top government functionaries, the governor during the EXCO meeting in Lokoja disclosed his stand on the matter.
I will not say I will not forgive, or will not say we will not forgive. We shall forgive. However, the State Auditor General should investigate those agencies that refuse to comply. They should start from there. You should investigate their income and expenditure pattern the past at least 1 year, or from within the period they are holding stewardship in these various agencies, because there must be reasons why they refuse to comply.
The Commissioner of Information and Communication Strategy also reiterated government's commitment to discourage scattered account system in the state, hence strict compliance to Treasury single account.
The Chairman of Council and the 4th Executive Governor of Kogi State Alhaji Yahaya Bello reiterated the commitment of his administration to the Treasury single accounts, TSA. He said his administration has identified TSA as one of the avenues to be able to check corruption in the system and ensure that you are able to harvest all the revenues that should come into the coffers of the state. He also said that his administration is prepared to even probe itself before anyone will come and probe the administration. And that goes to show the fiscal responsibility and discipline of the GYB administration in the state.
Commissioner for Health Saka Haruna told journalists that the government is going to deliver on the hospitals within the next 8 months.
The State Executive Council granted 3 very important approvals to revamp the existing health facilities across the states with provision of modern medical equipment with cutting-edge technology. These institutions include Kogi State Specialist Hospital, Lokoja, the Zonal Hospital, Okene, and Kogi State University Teaching Hospital, Ankpa. His Excellency is indeed determined to change the situation and change the narrative as far as provision of advanced medical services is concerned in Kogi State. With the same approval, the Zonal Hospital, Okene, has already been given an approval to be upgraded to a specialist hospital. And that specialist hospital will be named Central Reference Hospital, Okene.
The state government is more than ever before determined to block financial leakages. The Kogi state government has called on monarchs to ensure security of lives and properties in their domains from top priority. At a meeting between top government officials and traditional rulers in Lokoja, the monarchs were told that installation of royal fathers, chiefs, will be done according to laid-down procedures.
In the first meeting of its kind since the swearing-in of the new Kogi State Executive Council members, the new Commissioner of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Ozigi Salame, told traditional rulers to operate within and build on already existing traditional systems and work with government to achieve this aim. He referred to recent outbreaks of violence over traditional stool matters and said government will not tolerate this any longer.
Our own role as a government will do it. Their own role as our fathers, cooperation and patriotism, we are also expecting it. More importantly, if there's any chief, any clan chief, community chief that has no authority of the government, the ministry arm of the government, go and tell that person to be living an ordinary life. Please. If he choose not, whenever anything happens and is involved, himself and the person that put him there. I'm not speaking of my own, though, I'm speaking of the government. Himself and the person that put him there, government will discipline that person to serve as a deterrent to others.
Paramount rulers from the 3 senatorial districts raised an issue they described as the improper positioning of chiefs and called for review of the 2006 constitution regarding the state's traditional institution.
The law was enacted by the chiefs and some political leaders without the thorough consultation with the paramount rulers. So all these things have to be addressed.
Many things have to be done. And while you are doing it, you have to shut your eyes. No sentimentalities at all, no. I have that problem in my area. And I'm not going to quiver if I'm doing the right thing.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a student of history. So when we look back and we have declaration, however small the children may be, that is the cause of all these problems. And I'm glad to announce that in the West, that in Okun traditional area, we don't have, it is not possible for you to install somebody illegally. It's impossible. We don't do it. That will be the height of lawlessness. We do not do it at all. If you are a village head, the local government must be aware.
They also called on the government to step up efforts ridding the state of criminals, especially on the state's major highways.
We are from different communities, different traditions, customs. It will be very impossible to have a very parallel rule or a rule that will be of general application. Tradition differ from one community to the other. The ministry should take cognizance of this. Insecurity today is not only in Kogi local government. I want us to note that criminal elements have infiltrated this state as a whole, especially those of us living around the banks of River Niger and Benue. Kidnapping, banditry are on the increase. So I want to crave the indulgence of this administration to focus more on security of lives and properties.
I am happy with what the Honorable Commissioner has said. He said we need to sacrifice, and really it is true we have been sacrificing. There's an area needed: physical, spiritual, financial, and materials. Sacrifices.
The commissioner promised to look into their request.
We further, by this meeting, lubricate the tie, the wheel of the relationship between the government and the people, particularly through the traditional rulers. We know that society, as we all know, is dynamic, and if there's a law that has been governing the affairs of chieftaincy, and as issues are unfolding themselves, there must be need to look at the law and see if there's any area to amend. So we are going to look at the law and see what we should do to get it abreast with the modern realities.
43 first-class chiefs and 21 local government administrators were present at the meeting.
Kogi State Governor Bello has called on his newly appointed commissioners and aides to remain committed to his administration's efforts at meeting the expectations of the people of the state. Governor Bello, who made the appeal at the opening of a two-day induction for the newly appointed government functionaries in Lokoja, said his administration will not hesitate to do away with any of them not meeting up to expectations and warn them against any form of fraudulent conduct.
You know surely that ethnicity is our taboo. Your class difference, politically or otherwise, is also our taboo. Sectionalism, where you come from, whichever part of the state you come from, is not welcome in this state, in this particular administration. All we're after is your ability to serve and serve the people diligently. So any of you that are lucky to be serving here and you have that at the back of your mind, that you're going to improve your own personal lot first, instead of thinking we'll give first, and the people and the service that you need to render selflessly, I think you are in the wrong place.
Governor Bello also urged them to seek innovative ways of sourcing for funds for their operations.
The goal and the target we have set for ourselves, we must begin to match it immediately. Look for where you are going to generate funds, how you will contribute to the pocket of the state, not how you come and be taken out. That's going to be part of the performance, key performance indicator.
He promised to ensure the completion of projects in progress before embarking on new ones. Top on the agenda for the training program is the reinforcement of the state government's development policy, tagged the New Direction Blueprint. The Kogi State government has frowned against recent kidnapping cases recorded across the state and has promised to deal with criminals accordingly. This is made known during the third EXCO meeting in Lokoja. The Kogi State government says it will work closer with security agencies to get rid of criminals operating in the state. The government has called on the state security advisor to liaise with all security agents across the state to rid of criminals and its activities. Commissioner of Information and Communication Strategy Kingsley Fanwo, who made this public after the Executive Council meeting in Lokoja, said the state security advisor has been mandated to further liaise with security agency heads in the state to ensure war against criminals is won.
His Excellency Alhaji Bello reiterated his commitment to ensuring peace and development in the state. Also, the chairman of council expressed his determination not to negotiate with any criminal and expressed his confidence in the Operation Total Freedom and the Office of the State Security Advisor to ensure that criminals have no place in our society.
The State Executive Council also resolved to complete the Operation Light to cover more than 200 communities across Kogi East that has been in the dark for decades, a decision taken to ensure there are no hideouts for criminals.
The eastern part of Kogi has been in darkness for as long as we can all remember. Fortunately today he has given his nod, the final one, and the marching order that the entire Kogi is be lit up. In the first phase of this project, we'll light up 200 communities across Kogi East.
The commissioner said funding is to be made available to ensure the project's completion begins immediately. The Kogi state government says it has established 2 mobile police squadron bases along Obajana Kaba Road and in Okene in partnership with the Nigerian police. The Chief of Staff, Abdulkarim Mohammed Jamil, disclosed this when he received the Commissioner of Police in charge of Mobile Police Force, Mohammed Akira, in Lokoja. He said it was part of the state government's effort to enhance the security of lives and property of Kogi citizens and the safety of travelers transiting through the state. The 2 Mopo squadron bases in Okene and Obajana Kaba Road are already in operation. Religious bodies in Nigeria have been told to preach more against corruption. The coordinator, Abdulkarim Tijani of the non-government organization Socio-Economic Research and Development Centers, gave the advice at an anti-corruption workshop in Lokoja. He said fighting corruption cannot be left to government alone.
Religious and traditional morals does not condone corruption. But what do we need to do? We need to have this conversation with traditional and religious leaders to see ways through which we can counter the narratives, see how we can change the behaviors, the attitude, the norms and values that promote corruption in our community.
Other speakers at the workshop also highlighted the need for religious organizations to join the fight.
Almost all the people convicted or being chased for corruption acts, they are either Muslims or Christians. The task of the religious and traditional institutions are very, very enormous here.
Prayer is the crux of the matter. We are not giving up because it's getting somewhere.
Participants were urged to take the message of the Not My DNA anti-graphic campaign to wherever they go. If you are just joining us, this is Kogi in Focus, a program that gives you updates on happenings in and around Kogi State. For your contribution, feedback and advert placement, please call numbers or reach us via our social media handles displayed on your screen. Good news from the federal government to the people of Kogi and Nigeria at large over the multi-billion naira Moribund AJAOKUTA steel has secured about $1.460 billion for the completion of it. The development signifies what could become an effective end to the over 40-year delay in the completion of the multi-billion-dollar project. The Minister of Mining and Steel Development, Architect Olamileko Adebite, disclosed this in Abuja. Architect Adebite said that the Russian Export Center and the African Export-Import Bank had agreed to provide the funds. According to him, the Russians who built the mills under the Soviet Union were not only offering money, but would also be the ones to complete it under an agreement that will serve as a game changer for the company and the nation's steel industry. Kogi State has so far spent over 18 million on the treatment of Lassa fever in the state. To this end, additional 38 million was released to the treatment of the disease. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Saka Haruna Audu, disclosed this in a stakeholder meeting held in Lokoja. Dr. Saka said additional responsibility to expand the scope of the disease control have been put in place, stating that 5 bed spaces have been added to the existing 3 bed spaces to treat infected cases of Lassa fever. Commissioner said that the state government has given 21 days ultimatum to control the disease within the stipulated period. According to him, 50 suspected cases has been identified, while 16 of it have been confirmed to be Lassa fever virus, but 5 have been fully treated. He portrayed that the state government have made procurement of necessary drugs and other proactive drugs to control the disease. Dr. Saka also explained that a resolution has been taken to transport patients with Lassa fever with enhanced dedicated ambulances to a referral center to prevent the public from being contacted by the disease, stating that the use of commercial vehicles to transport such patients should be discouraged. The commissioner equally disclosed that 16 cases that were confirmed are limited to 6 local government areas, which include Okene, Okehi, Ida, Ibaji, Dekina, and Igalamela Odolo. Dr. Saka also said that the Ministry of Health will collaborate with the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, community heads, religious leaders, and other stakeholders in the community to sensitize the people on the Lassa fever in order to curb the disease. The commissioner commended the epidemiology team for the job well done and urged them to take the sensitization to the grassroots. He also talked on the training of the people to safeguard themselves from the virus. He solicited for the intervention of the World Health Organization concerning the Lassa fever outbreak. Earlier in his report presentation, the state epidemiologist, Dr. Augustine Ojodole, talked about the challenges they are facing, which include inadequate numbers of volunteers, limited space in treatment centers, lack of cooperation. It makes contact tracing very difficult and inadequate logistics to support contact tracing and case management. Adding that, in terms of social mobilization, they have partnered with Radio Kogi to produce jingle in order to sensitize the public on Lassa fever. It was a solemn mood as family members, colleagues and friends of late Justice Tom YAKUBU, as many of them gathered in the Kogi state capital, Lokoja, and Justice YAKUBU's hometown, Ankpa, to pay their last respect. He was described as a man of undoubted integrity, deep learning and extra insight, who demonstrated humanness and high principles in performance of his duties.
Justice YAKUBU's final journey home began with a valedictory court session in his honor. It presided over by Kogi State Chief Judge, Justice Nasiru Ajana.
We humbly rely on this written address in urging this honorable court to grant this application. I'm most grateful, my God.
Now to the application that was moved by the parties. After a careful perusal of the application in this case, I am convinced that it has merit and ought to be granted. Therefore, I hereby grant that application as prayed. I hereby grant leave for the release of the body of the Honorable Justice Tom YAKUBU to his family for burial.
The 3-day funeral arrangement spread, which began on Thursday, was witnessed by top former and present government functionaries, court judges, senior advocates of Nigeria, members of the Nigerian Bar Association from within and beyond Kogi State. Kogi State Governor described Justice YAKUBU's death as a huge loss to Kogi State and the nation as a whole, and prayed for the strength, especially for his family, to bear the loss.
He was a man of deep learning and extraordinary insight, who demonstrated humaneness and high principles in the performance of his duties.
Others extolled the late judge's virtues.
Honorable Justice YAKUBU lived a life worthy of emulation. We should be proud of that and be consoled.
We worked together. He was a gentleman. I could rely on him. I could rely on his integrity. When he gave me a judgment, I knew, without any iota of doubt, that his heart and his mind were in the right place while writing the judgment. He was a man of unimpeachable integrity.
He came, he saw, and he conquered. And like Paul would say, he has fought a good fight.
A great jurist who had given his own positive contributions to the judiciary and this country.
His immediate family members echoed similar sentiments.
Marvelous person, amazing, Mr. Fix-It. He was a forthright person, and I would like to continue in those steps.
A man of integrity. You couldn't fault him in any way, and he was diligent and hardworking. The whole father to son guidance that I seek from him, from time to time, I would really miss that. I would miss him so much.
You are my prayer partner, my prayer warrior, and you always stood in the gap for me and the children. You have never raised your hands on me or abused me with words and actions since we met till your passing to glory.
Hymns and songs were rendered at the service of songs before the special court session, then to his hometown in Ankpa, where hundreds of persons also paid their last respects before his remains were committed to Monarchs. Justice Tom YAKUBU was born into the family of YAKUBU Ogbaji and Kachua Idakpo in the village of Njema, Ankpa local government area on 12th June 1953. Justice Tom was the only son of his mother. Tom YAKUBU served in many courts across the country, including his final appointment at the Court of Appeal Lagos Division before he died at the age of 66 on the 24th December 2019.
This is all we have for you on today's package. Until same time, same station next week, keep doing to others what you want them to do to you. I'm Khadijat Mohammed. Goodbye.